really interesting techniques that she's taught us that you can actually use just to calm your senses, before a test or before a spelling test, whatever the case is. And so it's been helpful to do that. So breath has actually been one of the things that I focused on quite a lot during the lockdown.
Yeah, stop and breathe. I think it's very important. Besides just stopping and thinking, stop and breathe. I think we get so involved with what we're doing, and we just go all the time, that we don't think things through properly always, and we're just on the run. But having said that, there's a little video clip that I found that really resonated with me, Gina. I think you've seen it as well. And Natasha, if you could play that video for us, please. And I think, it just puts a little bit of light on the situation.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I didn't hear much of the
music.
sound. Yes, the music. But that
Neither did I.
No, nor did I. Okay. Maybe we can play it a little bit later again. But I mean, I love what that whole thing is that we have to look. I think the big message is having hope. We need to have hope. We can't despair. As you've put in that thing is, don't worry, be happy. It does make it quite difficult when you're running your business. You can't touch your clients. We're not in an industry where we're an insurance broker or where we're perhaps a lawyer where we can actually work online. But I think both of you and I have said that it's important for us to actually now look at things differently, in the sense that we need to look at our business from a more online perspective and what we can do going forward with putting ourselves online. I think retail for us in particular is going to be something that we need to bring in to sell to our clients. We're fortunate enough to have 2 suppliers that are able to supply these retail products to our clients at home really now during the lockdown. But I think even past lockdown, we need to look at how we can connect with our clients through virtual skin consultations, through getting retail to their place and to retail to their homes. We need to think out the box. We need to do things differently. Please God, we actually do things differently and have learned something different from this whole experience.
Yeah, absolutely, Gina. I totally agree with you. I think we always face with challenges, in some way or the other. And I think it's what we do with those challenges and how we approach them, face them, tackle them, which is going to make all the difference in how we deal with them. So, there are different things that we can do. We need to change our way of thinking and the way we approach things. And I think it's really paving the way and changing the way we're going to be doing business in the future as well. We are a very hands-on industry and a hands-on business where we interacting and touching people, with doing treatments. So it's quite difficult in a lot of ways, but there are ways around it, and there are a lot of things that we can do in the meantime and in preparation for when this lockdown eventually does end. And I've put down a couple of tips and things and suggestions. And I think, Gina, you will be able to also contribute a lot in this way. You're a 5 times winner of Salon of the Year, Forums and More. And you obviously have a recipe of success. And, I think there's a lot that you can share with us as well with regards to that success and how you've achieved that year after year. I mean, it's been 5 years in a row now.
Look, I think the thing is, and you know me, when it comes to work, I'm a workaholic. So I have to, you know, which is also been something that I've tried to pay attention to during lockdown, because, you know, it's about the balance. It really is about the balance. You know, taking into perspective that exercise is something that I've always done, but I'm doing it a lot more now while I'm on lockdown. And for me, if I'm starting my day, I get up every morning at the same time. I do have quiet time in terms of meditating. I've got a plan of action as to what I want to achieve. Even during lockdown, James said to me the other day, he says, "Why are you getting dressed up and putting makeup on?" And I'm like, well, you know, it's important that I actually feel good about myself. So I'm trying to maintain a routine. And this routine is something that I've had for all of my business life. You know, as well as I do that, you know, often there's times I'm at work at 6:30 in the morning, getting the day ready for what needs to happen. And it's just built in me. It's just something that I'm very much a routine person. I like to be prepared. I like to have my ducks in a row. I like to know what it is that I'm going to be doing for the day. I mean, obviously this is where, you know, you have to be flexible as well, because there's so many things that happen. But I like to know that I've got a plan of action and I can actually focus on something and do that for the day. So one of the things, you know, in terms of, I suppose, also having the competition, is that I enter the competition more because of the fact that it keeps us on our toes. And I want to, on a year-to-year basis, I want to enter to be able to keep my staff as well as myself on track. And often you'll hear me saying, well, I never have the opportunity to leave the salon, but when we enter the competition, it gives me an opportunity to look at the business holistically, as opposed to just as, you know, the skincare therapist and the aesthetic therapist that I love doing on a daily basis. So I think sort of, you know, focusing on like the things that I've done now is that I've focused on social media. I've had to put myself out there. I've done a couple of videos, even though I'm a bit shy on the camera. I've put myself out there. I suppose, you know, and I think, Sonette, this is something that the lockdown has done. It's actually also made me sort of think out the box as to what I can offer. And you and I said this to each other yesterday. You have something special to offer the world. Phil has something special to offer the world. Natasha and Gina, we all have something special to offer the world. And we have to realize we may not resonate with everyone all the time, but that's okay, you know, because you may have a message, I may have a message, and it may go over certain people's heads and they may not even, it doesn't do anything for them. But if we can just assist one person and add value to one person, that's what's going to make the difference. So I think that, especially for me during this lockdown, although I have social media pages, Facebook and Instagram, that tends to be for sort of a wider audience. And I have found with my broadcast list is that I'm able to communicate with my personal clients, my clients that have been with me for 20 years, my clients that I've had a relationship, you know, as their kids have gotten older, they've been coming to me. And, you know, so with my broadcast message, I've actually had to think out the box, download a few apps as to how to edit videos, you know, think of doing some home pawpaw peel masks and stuff for people to use, because we didn't have a lot of opportunity to actually get our clients ready with kits to send them home with, you know. The same as with if, you know, nannies and piggies, I'm sure we're going to have these long talons coming in and these hairy eyebrows and these top lips that, you know, that need serious work. So we didn't have a lot of time to prep. But I think during this time, it's giving me an opportunity to relook at my social media. I'm doing my website. I'm looking at new content. I've got new photos that we took from a photo shoot from last year. So I'm looking at that sort of digital stuff that has been there, but really has never been a focus of mine. And my God, I don't want to do web design as a full-time job. Thank you. No. I love what I do, but designing and toing and froing and sorting out questions and stuff like that, I'm glad to have someone to help me to do that social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yourself, Sonette?
Well, I find that, on a personal level, it's really given me time to take time out for myself. As you said earlier on, self-care, if we don't take care of ourselves, then, you know, there is there is nothing. There's nothing that you can actually do and deliver to people. If you're not the best version of yourself, you can't give the best of yourself. So, that's really, really important, is to take that time out. Time with my family. That's been very important, to do things for them that, I don't usually get time to do. One of the things that I actually did and experimented with was making bread. I was always too scared to make bread because
Okay.
it might flop.
And
But
how did it go?
at the end of the day, I think, it's that wanting to succeed, it's human nature. And at the end of the day, if you don't take the plunge and you don't just do it, you're never going to know. And I suppose it's like that with anything. And it came out great. I learned I could actually make bread.
Oh,
so,
wow.
so that was, personal achievement, and maybe a small one, in some ways, but quite a big one in others.
The others.
And
Yeah.
so, on that point of view, as you said, we've all got kids that are busy learning. So getting technical savvy, getting them set up online so that they can be doing this online schooling. And on a business level, I have been able to, sit and do a lot of the things that I haven't been able to do for my business before. Not having, the resources, and doing a lot of things myself as a one-man business, like social media, putting together social media posts, which I can actually bank and put away, so that once everything's over, I've got them ready just to post and to launch and get new product information out there to my clients. So, that's given me a lot of time to do and catch up on things with regards to my business as well, which has really been great.
Look, and I think that's the challenge here, is that, we still don't know exactly when lockdown is going to end. And so, we've got a system where we obviously, our clients book, for me, my clients book a year in advance, but I can't take it for granted that, these people are going to be coming in, because unfortunately fear keeps us back. So, whether it's fear of not being perfect, or fear of making a mistake, or fear of this COVID thing, where people are going to perhaps still be a little bit cautious about not coming in for treatments. We have to still be connected. It's not going to go back to normal, because there is no normal. It's a new normal, so we have to create that new normal. Yeah. So I think, at the end of the day, I think there's going to be those people who've had enough of the lockdown, and they're going to, run in through those doors, but there's still going to be those people who are going to be cautious. We have to be super vigilant when it comes to hygiene and sterilization and wearing masks, which we were doing before anyway. But and I think we have to be mindful of people. I think people are going to be wary. I think people are going to be nervous. I think people are going to be, and look, there's going to be a lot of people who also don't have money. That's the other thing we have to be aware of. So we have to be communicating with our clients. We have to be putting together offers. We at the moment are actually running a pay now, redeem later kind of scheme. So we've been on the phone with clients where we've said to them, but funny enough, actually, we've got a couple of clients who actually said to us, let us know how you need us to help you. So there are a handful of people who actually are concerned. They don't want to see your business go down. They want to still coming to you. They want to still make sure that you're in business. And some of these people are fortunate enough to be able to work from home. They've got an income that they're able to survive with. And they've said to us, how can we help? What are you doing? And so those people who've bought into the pay now, redeem later, we've given them a 15% discount to be able to pay now and then redeem after lockdown, which is going to help me pay my salaries, because I do have my staff working. We're working on improving ESP, which is the system that we run on our the business on. We've been communicating with clients. We have been doing social media. We've been doing virtual skin consultations. We've been helping people get rid of their old rubbish that they bought 10 years ago and now to revive it with their new home care routine. So we have been busy. Myself and Marie and Gabriella have been working, which has been good. Although there's, it's sort of a limited amount of time, but we have to think like that. And going forward, I'm going to insist that if clients can't come in for consultations, that we do that with each other, and we do check-ins with our clients on a virtual basis like we do now, because we can. So I think that's really, really what has been sort of an eye-opener for me as well. I have found that my staff have wanted to get involved, that they've wanted to keep the business running, not only for me, but for them as well, so that they've got a job to come back to afterwards. And so the things that we're doing differently to what we were doing before is we're doing a lot of that background kind of fixing up. Gabriella's working on the system, making sure all of that is correct. Marie's touching base with clients where we haven't done virtual consultations before. We're just trying to think out the box and be creative. And our clients have complimented us. In the things that we've been doing, our clients have said, well done. So, I mean, it's given us motivation to carry on and do more, I suppose. A little bit later this afternoon, we're going to do a draw, because we sold our raffle tickets. And so one person will win treatments to the value of 2,500 Rand with us after lockdown. So, yeah, we've created a bit of interest with that. Yeah. So it's been good. Our clients have appreciated it.
Yeah, that's really great. I think you've got to do what you can with what you've got, and you've got to have. Yeah, and you've got to do it now. Now's the time to do it and to get ready, because there is going to come a day, and hopefully soon, that this is all going to be over, and we're all in this together, and we just need to stick together and do the things that we need to do. I think you've mentioned a couple of really important things that you've done for your clients, and that's really important because that helps to retain your client, base, and to make sure that they keep coming back to you. Some of the things that I've researched and looked up online, there's a lot of amazing resources online that are helping you through this time, that is giving advice and that's giving you the tools to be able to manage your business in various different ways. One that I came across was called mindbodyonline.com, which I found some amazing useful tools on, and a lot of good advice to help you through this time. Because it's lockdown and your businesses are shut, it doesn't mean you have to stop working. Now's the time, like you said, to probably even work harder at making sure that at the end of the day, we've got something to go back to, because we've all got bills to pay at the end of the month. So, that's really, really important. I think building loyalty with your clients, brand loyalty, letting them become brand ambassadors for you and your business is also going to help a lot to create business by word of mouth. As you said, you've got a lot of good feedback, positive feedback from your clients who complimented you on, the things that you have done up until now to make sure, that they are going to come back when this is all over. And there's a lot of other things that we can do for our businesses in place, because things have changed and are going to change even more. So we have to prepare for that. And I think putting things in place such as, SOPs and protocols of how we're going to handle those clients when they do come back in. People are still, as you said earlier, are going to be fearful of, is this thing still around? Is it still in the air? One person needs to cough or sneeze, and, I think people are going to be fearful. So we need to make sure that we are following, and as you said, you've been following good hygiene protocols anyway, like wearing masks and things like that. But to put more stringent protocols in place and be more vigilant about the way we handle clients, the way you're going to execute your treatments and your hygiene, sanitation, and safety protocols. Those are all very important things that are going to have to be put in place when we go back into our businesses.
Look, and I think that's the whole thing, is that perhaps in the first 2 weeks of lockdown, people thought it was going to be a holiday.
Yeah.
People sort of slacked off a little bit. But you can see now that that extension where it's taken place, where people have now clicked in to say, okay, we can't sit on our laurels, we actually have to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, as much as, you know, you have to recreate yourself, you have to become more confident, you actually have to leave fear behind you, because it is fearful the first time you do a social media post where you put yourself out there and you're talking, or, you know, you're scared of what people are going to say, and you're nervous of how you're going to come across. But the time is now, and you have to act, and you have to do it now. So even with us doing these webinars, you know, we might be repeating what other people have said, but the thing is that for anyone that's listening to us, what they have to understand is that going forward, things that you do now in lockdown is going to benefit you as a human being and your business as a whole, because you are going to have a different perspective on life. You're going to have a new perspective on how to deal with crisis, because this is a crisis that we're in. And you can either let this crisis you sort of make you fold in, or you can become stronger and braver from it. And no matter whether it's baking bread or selling a voucher for 10,000 Rand, whatever the case is, these are all little milestones and challenges that we have to overcome. So yeah, I mean, I think we need to also give ourselves a pat on the back, and we also have to be kind to ourselves, and we actually have to just say, you know what, we're trying. And if one avenue doesn't work, we have to try something else. So, you know, there's multiple ways of doing things, and it's what works for you, it's what works for your clients. And yeah, it's not easy. It's not just a recipe of, you know, A, B, C, D. It's trying different things, and it's that trial and error that makes you into who you are as an individual, and makes your business a very different business to the one next door, and makes you a different business owner to anyone else that's out there as well. So yeah, we do lots of things differently, aren't we?
Absolutely, we really are, Gina. I think in the beginning, you know, in the first week of lockdown, I think the social media was definitely flooded with memes and video clips of some very funny and some very silly things that people were doing during lockdown, but also some very innovative things as well, you know. So I think that funny, silly stage is sort of like gone over now, and people are taking it more seriously, and as you said, thinking out of the box, using the time to do things they wouldn't normally do, and to plan and to strategize, and to make sure that when they come out of this, that we will be better for it in many ways.
And I think also, if you have the opportunity as a business owner to look at your finances and see all the fluff that you are paying for that you don't necessarily need, you know, you have to look at your business quite crucially and through very conservative eyes. Because, I mean, I've even said to my insurance company, I said, we need to streamline my insurance, because I'm paying this big whack of money. And perhaps I'm insuring a self-tan machine, or I'm insuring a printer that really doesn't need to be on that insurance. But I've never looked at it, or I looked at it 10 years ago, you know. So if you can have the opportunity to do that, you know, once again, what as you said earlier, I love the fact that I'm able to be at home with my kids, and you just see how their personalities are growing, and you just see how, you know, how they work on their own in terms of their work ethic. And that makes me sort of very, very excited to be able to know that whatever we are doing in our daily lives is actually rubbing off on our children as well, and the people that work with us. So not only do we have to talk the talk, but we have to walk the walk. So, you know, we have to inspire those around us, communicate, and yeah, and actually just do things differently, and just be kind to one another, to be kind.
Absolutely. I think, as you said, communication is really important, and staying connected with like-minded people in the industry, You and I have had a couple of good chats, you know, and staying connected on webinars like these and online platforms where you can share with other people.
Yeah, look, and I think that's the whole thing. Thank you to Professional Beauty for being able to do these webinars, because I think it's really important, no matter where you are, whether you're sitting in your bedroom or you're sitting in your office, you can have a virtual background so that you can't see the doggy lying on the chair behind you, and you can do these things. And one of the things that I know, we spend so much time commuting to places, paying attention to things that are not important. And wow, we waste so much time. So if we can just realize that every moment is precious, and I think that's the other thing, is to be completely and sincerely appreciative for everything that you have, whether it's small or big, is just every day have a sense of gratitude, whether it's the birds that are whistling out in the garden, or the fact that you can actually bake with your kids, or you can have meals together because you're at home. These are the things we have to be appreciative for, and actually take cognizance of it, and actually realize that there is a silver lining. There are some things that we are doing during this lockdown that we won't be able to do again, because it's going to go back to the fast-paced, busy lives that we had, although different lives, still going to be busy.
Yeah, I think you've got to keep inspired, stay motivated, and find ways, you know, to come back to your why and why you're doing what you're doing.
Indeed.
Yeah, so great chatting to you, Sonette.
Yes, you too, Gina.
Thank you.
And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. You obviously are doing the right thing and on the right path.
Well, I think what ends up happening, you have to reinvent yourself, because now, you know, after something like this, it's not going to be the same. And we will be entering the competition again this year. But yeah, you know, I think you have to look at things differently, and you have to reinvent yourself time and time again to stay current, to stay, you know, for people to be interested in what you do. And that takes courage, and that takes perseverance and determination. And I just thank God every day that I'm able to do that with His power, and with lots of prayer and faith, which is amazing. And that keeps me going throughout my days.
Thank you both, ladies, for that interesting talk. The biggest thing for me from that is that we've all got to work on our business, but also not feel guilty about doing some other stuff now and again as well, because, you know, we've all got to get through this and stay sane. And I'm staying sane in spite of the fact that my camera keeps packing up. And so hence the mug shot that you now see.
Okay, it does look, yes, like we've had some various different looks of what you were doing this morning, Phil. Yeah. You were doing some karate moves in the background there.
Yeah, so never mind. We'll hopefully fix that. Is there one particular thing that either of you would say was the most important thing people can do to keep sane or keep focused, or just one particular little nugget of advice for people? Sonette.
I think Gina mentioned it earlier on, and I think it's routine. For me, get into a routine, because if you don't have a routine, you're going to get into a rut. Having a routine, make sure that you do things that you plan to do. If you're planning to do things, put a timeline to it and give yourself goals and objectives as to why you're doing it, and make sure that you achieve them.
I think,
thank you, Gina.
I think you have to be responsible to yourself, because not only do you have to keep promises to other people, but you have to keep the promise to yourself. And we all know what promises we make to ourselves. And you know, if you make a promise to yourself to do a particular thing that day, do it. Don't procrastinate. Don't think that it's, you know, that you are scared of it. If you have to phone someone and ask for a discount from a supplier, do it. If you have to get onto your email and communicate with your web guide that you don't like a particular photo, do it. but I think you have to be responsible to yourself and actually make a commitment to yourself every day that you're going to get up, you're going to get dressed, you're going to put your makeup on, and you're going to have an amazing day ahead of you. So yes, with the routine that you've got, but you have to make that commitment to yourself, because you're the only one.
Oh, hello. We seem to have lost you, Gina.
Gina.
Oh well. There we go. Such is technology. We're all still learning, and 3G or fiber in South Africa is not always the best. So thank you, Gina, even though you can't hear me anymore, for that. Thank you, Sonette. It's been great. We will be having Lauren Gibson joining us at 11 o'clock via video for her second talk on wellness, etc. And we hope you'll enjoy that as well. Plus other things taking place later today. So keep watching, and we'll see you soon. Thank you all.
What time's the next webinar?
Thank you, Gina.
Oh, sorry, Gina. We've got Lauren Gibson at 11.
Okay.
And then, yes, at 11. Then I haven't got the program in front of me. It's on the website. But it's our pleasure.
No,
our pleasure.
It's wonderful. Thank
I'm
you
glad
so
you're
much
back.
for inviting me. Yes. I'll have a look at the schedule that you sent me with all the times and stuff. I just want to make sure that I do it in between my other meetings.
Awesome.
Sonette, lovely to see you. Nice chatting to you. And
Yes,
we'll definitely
you, Gina. Thank you.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, Natasha. Bye, Sonny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Natasha. Thank you, Paul.
Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.